How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end. Welcome to Biomutant. Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your fur style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Mercenary. Deadeye. Commando. Psy-freak. Mercenary. Psy-freak. Saboteur. Sentinel. Mercenary. Mercenary chosen. Sounds good. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that, but for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be precise. An echo of balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
That's right. Light is only for those having difficulty seeing what's in front of them. Sticking to the me first path is the only way we'll be going places.
I'm surprised at the change of heart.
You can't
You're trying to keep us in the dark here.
Guess left can be right, sometimes. Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. The deep cut. Right between the eyes. Made the kill. Right in the face. Nothing like a little exercise. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death. But some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Hey, nice shot. Now that's a flesh wound. took care of it. Running low. Chop it up. Seems like a peculiar item. Pow! an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Swoon. Sharp steel. Might not need that now, but you will later. That's going to leave a mark. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and, without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Slash and dash. Put an end to him. Slice and dice. Carving it up. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark. It's a scar you're covering. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Looper Lupin did to your village, your Moomer and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the Unity fell apart. Your Moomer's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. Asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Moomer knows you are here. You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. You found one. The Nono's ki energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to dedicate his life to it. He has the feeling... You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, and you handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the Pensai tree. One day, he hopes the tree will have... But... Now that you've... From this day on, he'll make nurturing the... He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Mooma comes looking for you. No, she's got lots of...
Loma utulu ba yowo.
He lost you there for a while, but...
Lotulu bayo yowo tulua. Cobra yake.
He said
Balo tulua.
the tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after.
Potawata. Loma.
The genetic evolution that occurred... His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Nocco has tamed the midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Googlide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast.
Oloi po bopaweg. Honto kontue bon yevun goja. Vunko honto kontue bon yevun goja.
He wants you to...
Honto kon wumbobo toboko.
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the world. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries that... Anyway, he needs help and says it's by...
That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
There's out of date again. He must have missed something important. Out of date says you will make a better stand. The myriad. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out of date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and Myriad is convinced that defeating the World Eaters is the only way the world can be saved, but they've been Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Says the Sifu is popular these days as the tribe grows stronger by the day. He suggests you let the Sifu do the talking when you meet. He prefers...
Sibi? La panen a ginkanman. Geradna fal hutut mustugai la wute.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place.
Hello?
He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you.
Mulekan frifgel, Sibi, Britta.
The wall that separates them from the other side? The wasteland you came from? He guesses the time spent there just left a blank space in your memory, as empty and barren as the wasteland.
Mulekan frifgel.
He's convinced you've returned for a reason, and is...
Get out of Fole. Get out full of Bellam when denke. Did a wuru wusa hat. Get out of Fole.
The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples.
Porote nat. Gelen pale wala papa.
The Sifu says it's time to set the path.
Porote nat. By the frame.
Myriad wants unity between. If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat...
By the frame.
He...
Labu saramodo tankant.
The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribe.
Bro plats. Get a one thing. Guaremba.
The Myriad were placed...
Labu get a one thing. La fanen a ginkanman.
Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war.
La fanen a ginkanman.
You need to take the struggle to the enemy, or the enemy will bring it. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen.
Geradam woof at a mat gain.
You
Geradam woof at a mat gain. Can't woof? What?
tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you.
What?
Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their...
Waka los sada plats. Flatted tick.
You were all part of the same tribe once, but without your Muma there as a guide,
Flatted tick.
seeing...
Waka los sada. Get a dinkin hiram.
Myriad wants unity between the tribes.
Gala wonday. Schleine for roten volop matatik.
Anyway, the memories you make with your family are...
Der genkin alle de bar.
He can't blame you. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Middle-lifed. You're not dead yet. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. All fired up. Much better. Bangarang. Even harder to take you down. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day how you are today.
Oh, there's a day, Manu.
Then he wants you to know that if you find yourself going through bad times, you should just keep going.
Now wait a minute.
Thinks you should really know how to swim by now. Why not? There's no better time to do what needs to be done than right now. He says that wasn't too bad, was it? At least you learned that you'll drown if you don't swim. You need to rely on those who somehow know how to teach. Those willing to bend down and help you pick up your boots. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. He knows that's not true. You've just made up your mind you're not. Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. You know you can't make up for lost time. She says nobody is perfect. That's why you practice. She'll see you at the village square. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. Here's a... You... He wonders what usefulness you found. He can work wonders with almost anything. You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He says you don't really need a weapon when you're born one. He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. Gizmo doesn't mind sharing. What's his is yours, and what's yours is his. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for this. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience.
Berry?
You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away.
Mustiki muhka amun.
You'll continue to build on the basics. Talent will only take you so far.
Inadab sumka?
She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's gone.
Anson bara. Ritsentende.
That's...
Anson bara. Kanamunt.
You've always...
Tukonda. Anson bara.
They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He's not scared. There's no way they'll let you pass. He wants to know who you She asks if you're hurt. What happened? If confidence is silent and insecurity is loud, she thinks you're absolutely the most... It's time to focus on your Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best. Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. Training with Muma will make you... He asks if you could help him, too, before you leave for training. He'll talk to her, sure, but you know she wants you to accept responsibility for your own actions and future. He suggests you get going and find him gadgets and ideas for how you can upcycle some old fabric. He's curious to see what you found. He says he can work wonders.
Sam, como ya echine will sila goyo. Your Muma says it's about time you got here.
Antoro, Kanarut, Asana Yotutupu, Kanyala Notoro. Bolakamun Rutna.
Your Muma.
Bolakamun, Bolakuto, Yoyo no Massaman, Yoyo no Massaman Barut.
Catchy.
tukonda.
Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful.
Kototuku.
Figuring that out is half the fun.
Asil natu pialtu ma.
A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that makes it a potent communication device.
Inadabsunka?
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see.
Asil natu.
Says it's not a record keeper, more like a companion.
Arialoche nui mumera.
Your Muma says you look tired.
Inadabsunka?
She's so happy you made the most of it. Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Lupa-Lupin from setting the world on fire. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says...
Inadabsunka? Taifanam asatu beri.
She tells you to stay back. This... Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow.
Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity, when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on.